Like it's like we're actually live now. Like it's like I've been so inspired by working with Marcel that it's like I want to keep doing content, and he's got the kids and the family, and he's got only so much time to do this stuff. I have all these ideas for videos, and like the Corey Walker video. I love that video. I want to do more stuff
Brilliant.
like that.
Yeah. Were you involved with that as well? That was so good, man.
Totally, man. Like, I mean, we come up with these ideas, and like I had this. It was almost like that idea was a group effort. Danielle almost had a vision of that as well, and I had a vision. I think we had different visions of what it was going to be.
Well, it turned out great, man. I think it's one of my favorite videos on the internet. I think I may have commented something like that on the video.
I know,
it's so good, man. Corey and Harry, they're both just like comedic geniuses in their own right, and just having them interact with all these amazing artists and seeing how they kind of like played off that was so funny, because I felt like some people weren't as into it as others. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that was kind of the fun part about it, actually.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So yeah, I want to start making more content, more long form content, and cultivating the community. And I'll tell you, David, I've been doing this a long time with Flat Picking Magazine and with Marcel and with a lot of different avenues. But there's something that you did you don't even know, David. In the last.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I know. In the last video, you the 30 kickoffs for vocal tunes.
Oh yeah.
You called me a bluegrass influencer.
Right.
And I was like,
I hope that's all right.
I've never really used those two words together before, you know?
Really? So, okay.
Yeah, weird. Like I kind of like that moniker, you know? I never would have said if someone said, "What do you do?" You know? Especially because I think you've never met Catherine, but my bandmate passed away about a year and a half ago. And I haven't really been feeling like I even want to necessarily play in a band. Like that's not exactly like I loved playing with her, but a year and a half later, there's no band calling me. I don't necessarily want to just join some random band. I'm not like that kind of player where I just, I got to learn 20 songs for this person and start just like meld in and become like a mandolin player in someone else's band.
I know, yeah.
It's like that type of thing. That's not really my world. So something else I think in a year and a half would have come up. But what really inspires me is doing the this educational YouTube world that we've cultivated. Yeah. It's super cool, man.
I think it's an amazing opportunity. For one, like as a business, you know, thinking about there's just no ceiling when you get to doing stuff online like this, and there's just no end of avenues that you can take making cool, fun educational videos about this type of music that's so underrated and not as many people are talking about. So it makes me really excited. It feels like it's almost like a new frontier of sorts for bluegrass to enter into. And like having that opportunity to kind of get it on the ground floor is so cool. It is different than playing in a band. Like I love playing in a band, but something about this excites me even more too in a different way.
Yeah, man, you're really good at it. Like your camera angles have gotten super cool. You know, the sound quality, the videos. It's like you and Marcel are at the forefront. You guys are like the Bill Monroe and Doc Watson of bluegrass YouTubing.
Well, I don't know. It's cool. I feel like it's offered me like a lot more opportunities than just playing. I mean, I really wish I was a better player, and I wish I'd spent more time practicing, and I should devote more time towards that. But in some ways, focusing on the video stuff has offered some more unique opportunities. Like even just, I put out a video a couple weeks ago of this experience I had with Mike Marshall, where he just like told me to wake up with him at 6:30 in the morning so he could perform through the 6th cello suite on his mandocello. It was just like this one-on-one concert, and it was just a mind-blowing experience that I wouldn't have had otherwise if I didn't do this. And I'm so thankful to get to do stuff like that and get to hang out with you, man, and get to like chat with other people who are so into this as well. And there's just like a thriving community around this that I love being part of.
Do you really feel like you're playing? Sometimes takes a backseat to video editing.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Dude, I feel that way teaching, you know, like it's in some ways it really improves because you get to play the same tune and analyze it in a million different ways. Mm-hmm. And so in some ways you get to delve into a tune in a different way if you're not but in other ways you're always slowing down techniques, over exaggerating techniques, playing really beginner versions of things for decades and decades.
Yeah.
So in some ways it really improves your playing, but in other ways I feel like it stifles the players that are only thinking about playing gigs or their own stuff or their own world. you can get way better than if they're always messing with like, you know, all the different students.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like you are what you eat. Like whatever you spend time doing, that kind of becomes a part of you as a player. Or, you know, if you're not practicing, you don't get any better in my case. But like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's interesting like that. Yeah, I know what you mean. In particular, like teaching beginners, sometimes if you're just playing simple versions of tunes, that's how you end up playing them. That's why I feel like you have to be really careful, like as a learner too, just learning versions of tunes that you really like to begin with, trying to find something that's within your skill level, obviously, but learning something that sounds nice and that feels fun to play, because that's going to be living with you for, you know, your career as a mandolinist or guitarist or whatever. You know, it really does influence the way you play.
What do you think of your playing on this? Can you see?
Oh, nice, man. That's been a while, man.
Do you think it's good? Like, what do you like when you look back at this? Like, I think it's insane. You know, could you still play this?
You know, I actually did a lesson where I tried to break down what I was doing in that video. For all these Mandolin Mondays things I've done, I never really improvised them. There's maybe been a handful of ones that I've just improvised, but for this one and a lot of other arrangements that I've done, it's just planning out everything note for note. So I mean, like I have a transcription of this that I worked with when I first filmed it, but it's been a long time since I played it. I just remember playing this lick that I played for you guys at IDA. I think I played that on the second pass or something like that, which I'm sure, you know, Byron does not appreciate or did not appreciate. But yeah, I don't know. Like I remember after filming this one in particular, I was pretty disappointed with how much I slowed down on the second pass. I don't know if you noticed that, but I definitely like dropped about like 10 BPM second time around because I was trying to do some over the head stuff. But
let's listen to it in real time together, man. The beginning of the Mandolin Monday series with a live real time reaction with David.
My right arm looks like a log of salami or something like that. Starts to slow down there.
Very Baroque.
Exactly, yeah. There it is. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Oh, man. No, I don't think I could play that anymore.
Do you find it really difficult to pick without a rhythm player?
Yeah, you know, rhythm I feel like is not my strong suit. I wish I was better at it. And that's something I really envy of a lot of players I listen to. I feel like it just comes from a lifetime of playing that particular style of music. I didn't actually grow up playing bluegrass. I played just like in the church band at my local church. I played in like an Irish band growing up a little bit, not very seriously, just learned a few tunes. And yeah, just kind of like play with singer-songwriters. And so rhythm wasn't like a huge focus of mine, but we listen to folks who've played this their whole lives. Like, you know, you listen to Tristan Scroggins, or you listen to like Maddie or Whitler or anything like that. You know, there's just an ingrained sense of timing that I wish I had more. So yeah, like playing with a rhythm player, I definitely enjoy doing that quite a lot. Also, like I did all these videos solo for Mandolin Mondays, which was kind of silly, mostly because like I was living in Nashville at the time and didn't have any gigs or prospects of gigs and didn't know too many people to play with. So I just wanted to keep myself on my toes and decided to do these videos solo. But I hate playing solo so much now. It's like the worst thing in the world, and I would never want to perform solo like that ever. Like, and you don't know how many takes I did off camera that never saw the light of day.
I believe
I
that.
wasn't happy with them. But
I believe
that.
Every now and then someone submits something to you for Mandolin Mondays, and they're playing like a duet with somebody, and I'm like, man, I should have done that.
Well, yeah, I was so funny. Like I didn't really have a big vision for the series, but then after a year of doing it on my own, I was ready just to call it quits. And at the time, I just moved up to Boston, and I was talking to Joe K. Walsh, and he's like, "Man, you should just start farming it out to other people." And so I asked Joe to do the first one because he gave me the idea, and it just kind of caught on. It's been going on for so long since. But yeah, that was kind of like the initial idea, is just like have it be solo and have it be unaccompanied, because I think it is a challenge, and it's cool to see players stretch out in that way, because you don't think about the mandolin as a solo instrument so much when you think about it in bluegrass. I've learned so much just by pushing myself to do that. And it's cool to see amazing players like yourself, and Andy's done one for me as well. And as you play differently when you're by yourself, whereas if you play with a guitar player, you just have a lot of different options to work with, I guess, which can be good and bad.
Yeah, I get really threatened without the rhythm player, and that's when I thought, like, when that version of that tune you just did is so impressive to me, that you can carry that tune in precise, almost like a classical technique, man. It's like super classical.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know.
Right.
Did you study much classical music when you were learning?
I did a year and a half of classical guitar, but that was in my 30s. I had this weird vision about a few years, maybe like 10 something years ago, that I wanted to get a music theory degree. And I ended up going back to college and doing I have a degree already in something other than music. But then when I started doing a career out of music, realizing I was never, ever going to do anything other than music, like, wouldn't that be crazy if I got like a music theory degree from a university, just because I can't hurt, It seemed like a really right thing to do at the time. But I never really made it through that degree, man. I did a couple years of classical guitar, did a few years of the classes, and just had way too much busyness doing this world.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's different. I wish I did do a music degree. I did like the hilarious thing is I did a performance degree with the mandolin, and my parents were so kind. They like indulged my, little dream to be like a mandolinist and to go to college and study music and be like Chris Thiele and study Bach and all that stuff. But there weren't many options at the time for mandolin players. There still aren't, but it was either go to ETSU and study bluegrass, or like go to Berkeley and spend, $300,000 on tuition and study, which would have been amazing. But I was just definitely not good enough to get.
You didn't go to Berkeley, did you?
No, I didn't. So what I ended up doing was I went to this tiny liberal arts school. It's called Bryan College, and literally just about 800 students in total, as in Dayton, Tennessee, kind of near Chattanooga. And the music department was even smaller, probably like 70, 80 folks altogether. And so when I first applied, the music director there was like, I don't know, we don't have many ukulele players here. And, it was like bad omen, but I ended up going there anyways. And they let me kind of carve my own path. And basically I took like all these classical classes. Like I did 4 semesters of classical music theory and 4 semesters of music history. I did like 3 semesters of piano proficiency and conducting and all these things that I don't use now, which feels like kind of a waste of time looking back on it now. But the cool thing was I got to study with Matt Flinner, and he kind of opened up my eyes. Like I'd never listened to David Grisman before college, really. He opened my eyes to all that stuff. And Sam Bush, I never listened to Sam, or John Reichman. He got me listening to like weird thing, like John Adams, like classical, minimalism music and all sorts of stuff that he listens to. So that was the best part of my education. But I did study like a little bit of classical music with a violin instructor too. Like we worked through some of the Bach partitas and sonatas, like not in big chunks, just like a few select movements that I don't remember anymore, and a few other kind of classical violin repertoire pieces on the mandolin. And I thought I would do more of that, but like looking back, like I haven't really done much since then. I mean, they're such great repertoire builders, or such like good technique chop busters that it's good to have some of those in your back pocket just to dust off some finger stuff. But I don't know. I wish I had more time to do that kind of stuff now, just because it's very
so hard to find the
involved.
time to like make a living as a YouTuber and have your chops as a world, the world class chops. That's like a real dedication to maintain that.
Yeah, no, I've given up. Not that I ever got there, but I think it's just, you kind of just got to go in seasons, I guess. Like right now, I feel like in the season of trying to figure out how to use S-Log3 on Sony cameras.
Totally, which is there's so many skills. I feel that's what I feel. I was actually joking when I said this I think I said this to Andy on the phone the other day. He'll probably join us soon. He's got the kids. He's putting them to sleep.
Oh yeah.
That like it was a good joke, but I'm like, you know what? I don't even really want to get any better at music. And I say that as a music, I don't want to say that, but I'm like, man, I really want to get better at using the lights and the cameras, and I got to get better microphones, and I got to get better this so I can film better videos. Cause like, I'm so inspired to like make a content.
Yeah.
Because I've somehow Marcel gifted me with this this YouTube algorithm in this world. Like he did all the hard work. He puts me on his channel. All of a sudden I have this YouTube community, and I'm like, man, I really need to take advantage of this. And people dream of being a YouTuber, but I don't have to start from square one. You can kind of like, I already have a foot in the door working with Marcel. Being on your channel is a world that like people have already paved their way.
Totally. Well, man, I don't know.
Of course, I do want to get better at music. I'm joking. It's an addiction.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong addiction, for better or for worse. But my brain, especially since Catherine passed, is with like, I really need to like find this like new passion for YouTube, for YouTubing.
There's something so satisfying I feel about making a video, like to not just convey a message.
It's obvious.
To someone,
it's obvious, David.
But thanks. Oh, I'm glad I'm glad it's coming across. But it's a similar feeling you get whenever you do like nail a piece, when you finally get a Bach jig down or whatever, or you play a gig and you're just so jazzed about how you played. A similar thing with making videos is like, if you can make something that's entertaining, that's valuable to people, I feel like, you've conveyed some type of meaning to them or some type of knowledge to them. And, and it looks nice. That's something nice too. I feel like that has a huge part to play in the whole equation as well. When you look back, you're just like, I have something to point to for the last 40 hours of my life. I like, this is something I did, and it's going to be out in the world, hopefully reaching people and making a difference. And
I hope people realize that it does take 40 hours. I hope, the people watching realize the amount of techniques and programs and cameras and knowledge it takes to make the video look like that.
Well, I don't know. I'm exaggerating. Not many videos take that long. Some of them do. Like that IBMA one took me ages, just like trying to learn all those kickoffs and trying to play them on camera and all that stuff. But
man, that's when I wish that Andy was here, man. Because when Andy pops in here, like he's supposed to join us, but like, man, I remember in the comment he left on that video is like, man, how do you learn all these breaks? How do you?
I was actually surprised at how quickly it went. A few of them I already knew. Like I knew, like Lonesome Pine. I knew Every Time You Say Goodbye. I know, like, Hot Rises, Take on Blue Night. So that was a nice head start. And also, like, a few folks like yourself were kind enough to play it for me, so I didn't have to do it. So I think I had to learn maybe about 20 in all. And I just made a playlist and started listening to them a few days in advance, just in between, other things I was doing. And then I just decided, okay, I could either spend some time practicing them and making it perfect, or I could just sit down and learn each and record them as I go. And so I just kind of blocked out a day and did that, where I just started with the first one and listened to it, tried to learn it as fast as I can by ear I didn't write any of them down, I don't think. So just, like listening on The Amazing Slow Downer or on YouTube, slowing it down on YouTube and trying to pick it out note for note. And I don't think I played everything perfect, but I've become a big fan of this philosophy, like the 80-20 rule, where 20% of the effort results in 80% of the outcome. So, if you can just tell yourself, just put in 20%, if you can get this solo 20% done, it's like the majority of the way there, and people may not even be able to see the cracks that happen if you just played at that level. So that was my goal, just like spend as little amount of time on each and still be able to make it passable. But it was fun, actually. I played more that day than I had probably in months before. So that's what I really love, is when like the video projects and my practice goals kind of align like that. And that's an ultimate goal of mine, to try to make more content like that I can learn through the process, as well as share my process with others. And that's something I think that like YouTube does really well. Like, you don't have to be the guru, so to speak. You don't have to be like, this perfect person who knows all the answers already. You can just be the guide, where it's like, this worked for me, or I learned this by doing this. Hopefully that helps you out as well. That's hopefully what my channel is shaping up to be, because I feel like I've learned so much through the process as well, even though I feel like I'm not, it's kind of a weird phenomenon, I guess.
Yeah, I love the video essays that you have done, like you turned the Reichman thing on Salt Spring into like a video essay on that tune. And,
that was
and
fun, man. Yeah.
And I feel like that is like a new style of bluegrass education that folks like yourself are just kind of literally the Bill Monroes of that, where you take this tune, take a figure like Reichman, such a seminal figure on the mandolin, take a tune like Salt Spring. How amazing must it be to write a song and then in your own lifetime have it become a standard?
I know, right? That's unbelievable.
You go around the world and people are playing your song. What?
It's crazy, man. I haven't experienced anything quite like that, or heard of anything quite like that in the past 50 years or whatever. It's crazy. And that was a special thing, to getting to talk with John about that. I've known John for a long time. He's been like a huge mandolin hero for ages. And I think I met him at the Swannanoa Gathering in North Carolina and asked him to do like a Mandolin Mondays video for a duet. I think it was actually the first year I did it, so it must have been 8 years ago. And I guess he saw that I was doing transcription work and asked me to do a book for his Up in the Woods record. Maybe I think it was about 6 years ago we worked on that together. And then we just started, talking more and more. And I ended up like publicizing his most recent record for him, which was crazy. Not that I know what to do as a publicist or anything like that. And but just like getting to know his work really intimately like that, I feel like really helped on a video where we were talking about his magnum opus, Salt Spring, and how it's reached so many different people around the world. Something I've witnessed firsthand. Yeah, like being in France and being in like Japan and people knowing that tune, not necessarily knowing it was John's tune, but knowing how to play it and hearing it on street corners around this festival in southern France, like on 3 separate street corners at once, was ridiculous, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tune. It's addictive to play and really fun to play. Really beautiful. That was fun. Yeah, I love that video that you made.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think there's so much opportunities for doing that. I mean, there's so many living legends still in bluegrass as well. And I hope more folks will like take that avenue. I basically have just been stealing different ideas from other YouTubers on that front. Like one of my big heroes, hopefully he doesn't know I exist, but I copy so much of his stuff. Paul Davids, do you know him? He's a guitar player.
Dude.
Yeah.
Of course I watch his videos.
Oh, they're so good. Oh my word. Like just the cinematography and just his positive vibe. Like you watch his stuff and you feel like, yeah, this is my friend, Paul Davids, and he's so into guitars. And I feel like,
dude, you're totally the Paul Davids of the band.
Well, that's what I would love to be. And hopefully, there's enough difference between the mandolin and the guitar to avoid any stepping on toes. But I like ripped that idea off of him, the 30 intros. He did a video like that at NAMM where he took like, his electric guitar and asked all of his guitar friends, like, what are iconic intros that people should know. So I thought like, that'd be fun to do with bluegrass instrumental tunes. I did that, last year at IBMA and then just tried to recreate the magic.
Hey, with the intros, that's where I got inspired to do what we're doing now, even though
really? Oh, cool.
It's just the bare bones of it. But like a lot of my favorite creators, not only do they make content, but then they make long form content about the content, reacting to the content.
Yeah.
Where you get to like know them more and get the mind behind it. Like how fun would it be to watch the Corey Harry video with Marcel and Corey?
Oh, that would be a blast, man.
You know?
It's like the commentary version of a DVD. You know, you get the director's commentary on the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like make the content and then make the content about how you came up with it and whose idea was to do that line and how'd you know, because I feel like the community is starved for even more content. You know, they eat it for breakfast, man. Like if you can't drop enough videos. And I feel like the best YouTube channels are the ones that drop more and more content, long form content.
That's true, man. Yeah, and it drives up engagement too, having long form content like that on your channel, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is just literally the bare bones, but I'm so inspired by what, you know, it's about time I'm inspired by something, because like I keep coming back to Catherine passing, but it's been a blessing to have Marcel, because without that, I really don't know what I would have done, you know, after when Catherine passed. It was so, you know, I had that to like jump into and had like this community waiting for me with Hayes and Andy and Marcel.
Yeah.
And I was like became like my family at that point.
Yeah, Marcel just does a great job of kind of bringing people into the fold. That's why I love his content so much. Like that, of people in, and his content's so like nerdy too. And I mean that in the best way. Like he gets into the details about stuff. I feel like he gives a depth to the bluegrass discourse in a way that probably no one else really has online. But does it in a way that's like engaging. It's not like, you know,
he's the Rick Beato
masculinity, you know, it's not like he's trying to, you know, make it so complicated that people aren't interested in it. They're just, I feel like it just, you know, people gravitate towards it because it is so involved and so interesting. It's great, man. Yeah, he is like Rick Beato. You're right.
He's the, yeah. You're the Paul Davids. He's the Rick Beato. How did you meet Marcel originally? Like
yeah,
I feel like you said that did you reach out to him? Is the story?
I think I have. Yeah, you know, I think that's how it went. I didn't know much about him until like 2020 when, you know, COVID happened. I was over in Northern Ireland at the time. We were kind of isolating in place, me and my wife Tabitha. And you've met Tabitha before, right? Yeah.
Of course.
We're just there for about 6 months, and Tabitha decided we had a bunch of spare time, so she bought a Sony camera, like a little mirrorless camera. And neither of us had really spent much time around cameras. Well, I guess she had before. She'd done a lot of photography, but you know, I was seeing Marcel and Eli Gilbert do all these really cool YouTube videos and had a bunch of free time. So I thought I'd start doing that too. I thought it was something to be like as a placeholder until live shows started happening again, because I was playing with Mile 12 at the time and we were playing a lot of shows up until that point. But then, yeah, just started getting really into it. I asked Eli first about some like lighting ideas and some gear recommendations, and he was so kind to help me out. And then then I think I reached out to Marcel maybe a few months later. I've copied so much of their stuff too, you know, like in addition to Paul Davids, I've stolen so much from Marcel and Eli. They've just been like super helpful too, and I'm sure they know I've stolen stuff.
Marcel's one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we met, I think in must have been like 2020 or 2021, and I was asking him about like some specific video editing techniques that he used and some ideas for content. And he was so helpful, gave me some feedback. And then we stayed in touch, done a couple of distance videos together. I think the first time I met him in person was at IBMA last year, though. I guess it was when I kind of got to meet you in person as well too. Maybe we met in passing before, but that was really fun, like getting to hang out with y'all at IBMA. I love that event so much, man.
Yeah. I was glad to finally meet you too, man. It was to put a real life personality to the guy. I've been watching your videos forever, man. Did you know me from Marcel's channel or from like Flat Picking Magazine era days or something?
Yeah, you know, I didn't know much about Flat Picking Magazine until recently. I wish I had known more. But yeah, just through like Marcel's content, I think I'd seen your interview. You did one with Stash Weislash.
Oh yeah,
right? That was so cool. Oh my goodness, that guy is an absolute legend. And then of course David Grissman too. I saw your interview with him. That was so cool too. Like, wow, that was unbelievable. So yeah, I think that's how I just got familiar with your content. I was curious too, like how did you get connected with Marcel to begin with? You guys make such a great team,
dude. It's an amazing story. Andy says working on putting the kids to bed.
I understand that.
Dude, who else texted me while we're doing this is I'm giving lessons to the Chris Quayle, who you probably know.
Really? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, dude, he's a great player, but it's funny. Like he's the crying Uncle Dad. He can obviously has no shortage of flat picking lessons or mandolin lessons there in the house.
But, I know, right? I just heard Teo is going to be playing with Noam Pakilny on the tour soon. Like, what? I want to see that show so bad.
But somehow Chris Quayle reached out for flat picking lessons. We have a good time.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah, Chris is such a nice guy. We've done their house concert out in California before, and yeah, just getting to hang out with them at IBMA and other events like that. Such a blast. They're great folks.
Yeah. So the Marcel thing.
Yeah.
I don't put anything on YouTube, although I'm starting to do more, and I still am more inspired to do it. I got to make my own channel, build it up. You know, like I'm so tired of putting content on other people's channels. You know. Okay, so I put this one lesson of like a lick that I played on my YouTube channel, and Marcel left the nerdiest comment. It was like it was a lick that had like a major that had like this kind of feel to it. Like with the sharp, with that sharp 11, like a lick like that. And Marcel left a comment. Isn't this the lick that you played in the 2014 issue of Flat Picking Magazine and the third pass of Whiskey Before Breakfast? Literally, like the most nerdy comment, and it was in fact that lick from the third pass.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So we became online friends then immediately. Then when my band, Bell and the Band, played at ISIS in Asheville, he drove with his then girlfriend, now wife with a kid, drove over from where he lived then like a couple hours to Asheville, from Cary to Asheville.
That's so nice.
To watch the band play, meet me in person and hang out. And then when Catherine and I did a Kickstarter for the folk opera, you don't even know about this, David. I have an album that Catherine and I recorded. It's a 2-hour-long folk opera I got to send you some tracks and play it for you. I would do it.
I'd love to hear that, man. Yeah,
but not for this stream, but man, I get to unleash that on the world. But to do the proper Kickstarter, you need like a video. And back then, I was like, well, who do I know who can make a Kickstarter video? I don't. Freaking Marcel. So he came to town, came to Florida, stayed at my apartment here for a few days.
Oh, that's so nice. Wow.
Filmed a Kickstarter video, made an incredible video. Started sending me students. He was sending me students before we were even working together. He was just like, he had too many on his list. He's like, here's a group of people you might want to teach. And then we started working together more officially doing it. But man, he's a great dude. Best.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, man. I'd love to hear more about how he got into it all as well. I'm sure you know all that story, but such a cool thing that he's doing. I definitely have taken so much inspiration from him, like I was saying, and likewise to yourself, man. It's so cool to see what you've done with his channel. I'm stoked to see like where your channel takes off to, man. That's so cool. What are some of your upcoming video ideas? I'm curious. I won't steal them, I promise.
No, I mean, right now it's just I want to cultivate this kind of community and make this more of like a regular thing where people like. I mean, I'll bet if we texted Stash, he would freaking jump on here right now. You know, we've got to get Stash next time, and I would love to like react to some of our own videos or talk about some stuff, like talk about IBMA. Talk about exactly what we're doing now. And I think that the more we do it, the people will know to tune in to watch that kind of thing because they enjoy also the camaraderie when they see people getting along.
Mm-hmm.
I know I enjoy watching, like if you're into like watching a TV show like Breaking Bad, you like to watch that the writers get along.
Yeah.
You know, you like to still like it's really nice to see that Hayes and Andy are friends. And people really like to see that. And I think they want to see more of that. And, you know, they see it for like 5 seconds in the videos because they're edited. But something like this really comes across to a lot of people, I believe.
Oh, yeah, totally, man. I've always thought it'd be cool to start a podcast, but then I realized like how much work that is. And I'm just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. But that would be really cool. Have you thought about doing that?
Well, completely. And if dude, I would love to do that. You know, maybe this would feed into that kind of thing. You know, there could be.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There's a lot of possibilities of podcasting ideas. I would love to do that. Would it be something you do on your YouTube channel or something?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I guess like a lot of
podcasts is only audio. He does the
right. Well, I guess he does like those crazy animations for them, which I don't know. That must take so long. I'd like kind of make
talk about a labor of love. It'll take him like 4 hours to do like the guy takes a drink of coffee, you know, and Marcel does that because he freaking loves it.
That's so crazy, man. Yeah, I admire that so much. Just like even the the Tony Rice lo-fi beats, like the remixes that he's done and all that kind of stuff. It
It's
really is
cool.
a labor of love, and yeah, you can tell he loves this stuff so much. Yeah, I don't know, for like podcasts, it seems like a lot of folks are doing the video approach now, but it would be so much more work to do that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, if you did something like that, what would you envision it being?
Something like this, where it's kind of like starts with the educational YouTube world with folks like Hayes and Andy and you and me and Marcel, Stash, people, Chris Henry, friends of mine who are in the community. And then I think other people would naturally want to join in, and we start cultivating a universe where we react to videos, talk about culture. I feel like Marcel not only teaches bluegrass, but he's like creating bluegrass culture in a way, and that's kind of interesting. So then you can kind of like create the culture and then talk about it at the same time, which helps create the community.
Yeah, totally. You have to have that discourse around it to really create the interest and create the more people being interested in it. I think you're right.
I know from teaching the students that are on Marcel's waiting list that they all watch every one of the channels that you just mentioned.
Cool.
It's a very small community, and they all kind of, and when Andy is on Marcel's channel or when I'm on Andy's channel, people watch that and people want to follow their online teachers to other channels.
Yeah. It goes beyond just like instrument specific stuff. I think you're so right. Like I love watching, Eli's banjo channel because it's so cinematic. Like you see him pulling out a vinyl record and putting it on his turntable and then getting out his banjo and playing along with it. It's so cool, man. It is an amazing job of creating some engaging content. And yeah, it's cool to see everyone so interested and invested what other people are doing.
Man, I wish Andy, he says working on putting the kids to bed. That's not always an exact thing. What's it like? You have a newborn at home, right?
Yeah, totally, man. Actually, she just went to bed right before this, so it's good timing for me. She's at the point where she's finally sleeping through the night. Oh my goodness, she's about like 4 months old now, and yeah, for the first 3.5 months or so, she didn't sleep that well. But now she's like gotten to the point where she's sleeping 12 hours a night, and I feel like a normal human being again. It is amazing, man. I've never appreciated getting a full night's sleep so much. But it's such a blast getting to hang out with her, and she is full of personality, and she's just like full of laughs and smiles. It's great. Her name's Joanna, and 4 months old now.
Mazel tov.
It's crazy, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been great.
I'd imagine if making the videos takes away time from your chops, that this will also subtract from your chops.
No, it's definitely compounding, I'm sure. No, that's been another big contributing factor. I haven't even been able to be that consistent in making videos. I took kind of a couple months off in some ways at the beginning, which was great. I had kind of stocked up a bunch of stuff right before the delivery, and I'm still actually kind of sourcing through that, like trying to weed through it and edit some things that I filmed a few months ago. And editing, I feel like is the biggest kind of bottleneck in my time management, where I just like, sometimes I put it off, and then other times it just takes really, really long doing that.
Do you use Premiere?
I do, yeah. I started out using DaVinci just because it was free, and then I started using Photoshop, and I was like, well, might as well use Premiere, and since I'm paying for it now. I've heard that Final Cut's really great too, though. What do you end up using?
I bought Premiere Pro finally.
Nice. Yeah, it's like, it maybe isn't the best program. Like I think DaVinci Resolve is probably the best for color grading, but I've gotten so used to the Adobe platform that it just makes a lot more sense to me using Premiere, and you getting a workflow down that works is so helpful, honestly, man.
You're clearly getting good at it, man.
Oh,
what kind of camera do you use?
Yeah, well, I got two. Actually, just bought one from Jake Howard recently. Talking to Jake Howard is a dangerous thing.
Who's doing great YouTubing.
Jake's absolutely. Awesome. He's probably like one of my favorite videographers in the scene, man. He's so great, and his color correcting is bar none. But yeah, I was talking to him recently. I was like, man, how do you color your footage so well? And he's like, man, I've got this set of LUTs I really love, and I've got this extra camera if you want to buy it. And so I was like, okay, I'll buy the camera from you. So wow. I've got his Sony A7S III, which I think is a great all-around camera for video. It has so many features like up to 120 frames per second 4K, which I have actually never used before, to be honest. So mostly I just shoot, kind of the basic 24 frames per second, and I use that feature on this camera. I have another one too that's kind of similar. It's a similar body shape. It's the Sony A7 IV, which I know all the numbers probably don't mean much to anyone out there, but if you're into cameras, I've been really digging these. But I don't know. I wish I had started sooner without worrying about the gear. In some ways, it's kind of fun, like having fancy gear. It's like having a nice instrument where you feel more inspired to play it and pick it up and use it. And I think that has been helpful for me. It's been like it makes me feel excited to make a video because, like, oh yeah, this new camera to try out, right? I feel like it's more purposeful or more kind of focused when I do sit down to make content because I have this stuff. But I wish I'd been more experimental and just tried making stuff on my phone. And I guess that's what I did at the beginning of Mandolin Mondays. I actually just used like a webcam on a laptop, and it was awful. Like you just witnessed in that Huckleberry Hornpipe video. But it's been a slow learning curve trying to ramp up the quality and ramp up my gear cabinet and all that stuff.
It's so obvious, man. I love the artistic shots, the panning over the mandolin, the sheet music.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's so cool, man. Like I appreciate it, bro.
Oh, I'm glad someone does. Besides myself,
the panning over the sheet music.
It's all self-indulgent, man. Just trying to make sheet music look, appealing for people to buy.
It's totally it's artistic. You're into you make music as art, you film as art. It's very similar. I wish Andy was here to react to the video I want to show you, but I want to do I'm going to do another reaction vid for you.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, because you're probably going to have to go.
Oh, man.
Kids, I
hope it's not super cringe, man. If it's one of mine.
No, it's not one of yours. I had a couple picked out for Andy too. Like, do you know that Andy has, I think, like the most viewed mandolin lesson video on
I wanted
YouTube?
to ask him about that. Yeah, it's like 10 things that aren't bluegrass you can play on the mandolin, right?
You know what? He looks like might be trying to join. It says they will need to connect. He's trying to come in. Is he here? See,
I see something.
He's trying, but he's not there.
The Mando hat himself.
But he's not there. I can't see him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
he's a blob. There he's gone. Now he's gone. He was there. He was there. He's gone.
It's good to see you, Andy.
Yeah, that was Andy Hatfield.
Yeah, I want to ask him about that video because that one's like how many views? It's like tens of millions, if not.
It's got like a couple million. Let's check up on it. It's got 2.2 million, but I don't know if there's another mandolin instructional video that has that kind of. It's for a mandolin instructional video. That's a lot. Do you have any that's reached 1 million?
No, not even close, man. Imagine that if there's 2.3 million mandolin players out in the world, that would be amazing. Do you think there actually are?
Andy's really trying to come in here. Andy,
what's up, y'all?
How come you're having trouble coming in here, man?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've had nothing but trouble all night. So let's see.
Right? Why can't we see you?
It says like I don't have a camera hooked up, but I clearly have a camera. I've been using the camera all day.
You actually joined a StreamYard link when I did this for the first time. You helped me test the software.
Yeah, and it worked great. Okay, I'm gonna try leaving and coming back in. All right.
Okay. Yeah, dude, we should get Jake Tower to join one of these. We can get Maddie to join. We can get the Godfather Marcel himself.
That'd be great
to come in. And also, StreamYard allows us to stream to multiple YouTube channels at once.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So, like, if we have, like, for example, if we wanted to watch an event together or react to video, we can plan things and do put it out to Hayes' channel and Andy's channel and mine all at the same time. And you can call it whatever you want and make the description whatever you want.
That'd be awesome, man. Yeah.
How come Andy isn't in? Okay, so I'm going to go to a reaction video. Andy's lost that he can't get his computer hooked up.
Right. I feel it, man. It's happened to me so many times. It's so frustrating.
This is something I want to see you react to.
I'm nervous.
I know. I know you're gonna love it though. Like I feel like we talked about it in Raleigh.
Did we? Oh, you're right. Yeah. Oh man, I love these videos so much.
Dude, how about Feely solo in this, dude?
Uh-huh.
Isn't it insane?
Here's a little swamp music for you. This is the Gator Strut.
The Gator. I love how all the videos in this concert, Feely is like about this close to his fretboard. You know?
I know it's so interesting. It's really a groundbreaking recording, right? This kind of stuff.
It is so cool, man.
Yeah, dude, he's like, his nose is like one hair away from the fretboard.
Doesn't look comfortable at all.
Andy, you've seen this, right?
Yeah, this concert was incredible.
Were you there?
No, I wish. I mean, I just
Oh,
remember
man.
when like seeing the thing.
I was gonna say, man, I was so jealous there for a second.
Oh man,
Right. Yeah, man.
No.
I'm just gonna get Benedict's reaction when Feely starts tearing it here at the end. Let's keep going.
I'll tell you
what
what.
were
I'll
we
tell you
saying?
one I was at though that was amazing. Dave
Yeah.
was I saw Mike Marshall, Edgar Meyer, and Bela Fleck.
Oh man, the uncommon ritual.
Do the uncommon ritual
Yeah.
at
Dang.
in Telluride in a little theater.
Whoa.
Like it was incredible.
That's sick, man. Oh, now I am jealous. Yeah,
Okay, hit
man.
the skater strut stuff.
Yeah, man.
I was just gonna ask, do y'all know what happened to that dude in Boston there that he's playing? Which one is that?
I don't know. Is that he doesn't have that one anymore?
Well, I think he had like two.
He had two of them. I
think is this one his first one or second one? I can't remember.
Have you ever played a dude in Boston? I've never even played one.
I've played a few. I get to hang out with Len sometimes at the Swannanoa Gathering whenever I'm over there,
Right on.
and he's always like the in-house luthier.
Oh, that'll
He usually
work.
brings one or two with him. But yeah, they're amazing stuff, man.
So, how does Mike Marshall play mandolin with hands that are that big? He has enormous hands.
I was actually playing his lore recently. He's got these shims on the sides of his fretboard that kind of make it wider. You know, it's like,
Is that
I don't know
really?
if shim's the right word, but it's like the fretboard's actually wider than the neck.
Is that really true?
But they've like found some way of angling it, sanding it down so that it feels seamless. You don't really notice it, but it is wider than most lures out there. Maybe not as wide as more modern mandolins, but
Because like Radim, Radim has mandolins that are made for him. You know, he's a big guy.
yeah, it's like a guitar neck almost. It's crazy.
Basically, yeah.
Classic Mike Marshall lick there.
So good.
All right.
This is hands down my favorite era of Feely. It's just so tasty.
I concur dramatically, dude. It's really incredible. This solo is insane.
Yeah, and the tone and the clarity like he gets out of every note, it's ridiculous.
It's stunning. The space. It's like Pink Floyd. Hmm. Hey, if you're watching the stream, drop a comment. What do you think of this Thiele solo?
Did you ever get Chris to do a mandolin Monday?
He did do one, man. I felt like I'd completed the Mandolin's hero's journey. Just sent one in. I guess it was kind of towards the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
I didn't have any direct contact with him though. I've only shook his hand in passing. Flip, that's crazy.
Was his hand moving that fast?
Thankfully not.
Dude, Mike Marshall is thinking like, I am playing rhythm to something very insane right now.
This is great. It's just limitless.
This is on another crazy level here.
Quartal. Sick, man.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I picked that one out to share with when I knew that you guys were joining the stream.
Dude, thanks for sharing that, man. I haven't seen that in so long.
I know,
That's
right?
that's unreal.
It's not only the technique, but the thematic building, the space, the phrasing, the different techniques, the way he decides what technique comes next, ending with the big. It's super amazing.
You know, when we were all younger and stuff, I had a couple opportunities to play in little jams and stuff. You know, and I hate to even say with Chris, but because it was like situations where other people were there and stuff like that. It wasn't like that. But one of them was at Spigma. I mean, it was probably before this. And what got me was not only how fast he could play, but how loud he could play.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how that was possible, that he could do both of those things. And I still don't know that I understand how that works.
Yeah. Marcel, he talks about like that triangle when it comes to speed, right? Like with the tone, volume, and precision. Is that right? You know, kind of like pick two when you're playing fast, and that's all you get. But then like Thiele is just on a different planet for some reason. He's able to do all three at the same time. I don't know why.
When David, you taught at Kaufman and stuff, and like one year I was there. John Moore was there.
Yeah.
And young guitar player that was really good. He's still really good, but he was really good when he was like Presley Barker was there that year. And so I started thinking about, you know, this kid's like a child prodigy, and I was like, okay, if I end up with a student that's got that talent, could I get that result out of them? And I wasn't sure that I, as a teacher, could do that. So I went to talk to John Moore about like, okay, so how do you teach kids? And so he gave me the strangest answer. And it was strange and not strange at the same time, because, you know, we all know how important like pick strokes are and everything. Like, it's like, if you get the pick strokes right, you get so much right. Yeah. And he told me that like he taught kids like everything in that rhythm.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
Every song in that rhythm. So it would be like Arkansas Traveler and be like, yeah, you know, it'd be like every song you would learn in that rhythm for a while. Because like, how do you
That
teach
makes
it?
sense.
I feel like fiddle players do kind of teach like that. That they
Yeah, that is that hokum bow shuffle. Is that right? Yeah.
Once they get that right, then they kind of get that rhythm into their hand,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can kind of fly off on a run. Like all of a sudden, they'll be they'll be able to throw a run in, and their hands already moving at tempo.
That's so true. Because man, that's like the biggest hiccup or the biggest hang up that I see most players have is like they don't know how to alternate with the beat. Right.
Yeah,
that's so smart to kind of start with that as your foundation.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Do you teach any private lessons anymore, David?
I've just got like 2 at the minute. I don't do that much just because I don't know. I really do enjoy it and I kind of miss it in some ways, but it's been hard being tied down to like a specific schedule like that. But I don't know. Sometimes I find it more helpful to have a specific schedule like that because I feel like I can make use of my free time a little bit more. But just having like a newborn now, it's been a little bit crazy, so I haven't been
Congratulations
really trying to do that. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, likewise, man. How many kids do you have?
We've got 2. I've got an 11-month-old, and I got a 3-year-old. And the 3-year-old is at the stage where she requires, she requires a story until she falls asleep, and I'm so literally like, just sitting there making up a story, like, and then the princess said to. Just like, please fall asleep.
So sweet, man.
Yeah. No, it's pretty
tough in some ways.
Yeah, man. Mickey, that was a good track, dude.
Yeah, dude. You know we were you know what we were about to react to before you popped in here?
Hit me.
We were talking about this, and let me get to the still getting faster at using this StreamYard thing here. Share screen. Pick the tab I want to share. This thing, dude.
Oh, gosh.
That's the one, man. Yeah. This is my first introduction to you, Andy.
I know. Well, yeah. I mean, this
Such
is
an amazing thing. I mean, what's that? 2-point-something million views.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
For mandolin instructional video.
Yeah. And it's so funny. Like, what's funny too is I never did anything to capitalize on this at all. Like, I was not in the mindset of that. And also I was like, well, I don't want to learn more. I'm a bluegrass mandolin player. And David, I heard you saying like you wanted to ask about this. Go to the last frame, Mickey.
Yeah.
Go to the very end. Go to the last frame and I'll show you what this is. Okay, so I end with my little song here. Okay, here's the last frame. Read what it says. No, keep going. Right there. Memphis Acoustic Guitar Festival.
I don't know if I've ever seen that ending.
What is that? What is that from?
Okay, so there's a guy that hired me to come teach at this thing that he was putting on. It was an acoustic guitar festival, and he hired me to come teach. And he's originally from the town I live in, and he's like, he wanted to have me there and like do a workshop. He's like, I didn't want bluegrass. He wanted me to do a mandolin workshop without bluegrass. And I was like, okay. So I started, and I want you to make a video about it and put it on YouTube. All right. So that's what this video is. So I was thinking about like, okay, what songs am I going to teach at this workshop? And I just came up with them. And then at that time, David, it was really popular. Was BuzzFeed. And so, and it was like everything you saw on the internet was like a list, like 10 something. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna do it like a BuzzFeed list. And so I was like, did a
genius
like 10 something, and then I just came up with the songs, and I never learned the whole songs.
Didn't need to, man.
I just put it out there. But what was so fun about it to me was that I don't know if you remember this. Up to that point, it was always Sierra Hall had the first video. And it was like her stories and songs thing, like from when she was like 13, like going into the studio with Ron Block and we're doing this thing. And it was always Sierra Hall. And so I got to knock Sierra off the top spot. And it was literally like, I would go back and check it. And it was like,
that's amazing.
2 or 3 years, it was like the #1 mandolin video on YouTube. Like if you type in the word mandolin, it always came up. I was like, that's incredible.
I
The
wonder
real
if there are
question-
any instructional mandolin videos that have more than 2.2 million.
I don't know.
think, like,
I mean, there was a guy that
probably
had
not.
like a Hendrix, how to play Hendrix on mandolin or something like that. Like, there's a couple things like that. But so, I mean, if it had been like now, I would have thought more about like how to get something out of that or capitalize it or monetize it or do something. But I was like, well, I don't want to like do more of this. Like, that's bad. But somebody was like, well, you should just do. People obviously want mandolin. It's not bluegrass. Like, well, I don't want to like do Led Zeppelin covers and stuff. It's not what I do. So
The real question is, how many emails did you get of people asking for the tab for this?
yeah, I get those. I do get those. But actually, the other thing I got is I got one of my favorite. I think my first Skype student out of that. Like her mother
nice.
called me, as a girl's mother called me, and that probably is how I got more out of getting a couple students out of that than anything. But this girl's mother called me, and she ended up being her name is Micah Bond. She's fine mandolin and fiddleist. I think she's down in like the Savannah, Georgia area. She's sharp. She's grown up now and she's a good player, real good player.
That's awesome, man.
She's my Facebook friend, Andy. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she's a good player.
Yeah,
Good musician.
totally. And I think
I taught her when she was like 14.
Yeah, totally. Man, David, what's the video that has the most views on your channel that's ever?
Oh, probably like this, like the first video in this beginner series I did a few years ago. I just wanted to copy like Eli's 30 Days of Banjo, so I tried to do like a beginner series on my channel too, and it was like kind of a big flop at first. Like it didn't get many views, and then a couple of years later, it just kind of started to get more attention. But it's still like, I think it's under 300,000 views, something like that.
I think what I learned from watching David's process is, even from when you were a young man starting that thing with Mandolin Cafe, was just like the grind. Like you're just like, I'm just showing up to work every day. I don't know what y'all are doing. Like,
I felt like it some days. Yeah,
I just keep doing it, and like, but like when you get 10 years out from that, and you look at what you've done, it's just astonishing.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh, it's been a wild ride. I didn't think it would be like I kind of feel the same with you. It's like I don't want to make videos sometimes, like where it's like it kind of does feel like a drag or a grind. But like especially that first year doing those videos myself was such a great level
and
up.
when you switched it and let everybody do it, that was it.
Yeah, I haven't done many since. I've probably done maybe a dozen or so videos since then for the series. But yeah, like having other folks do the heavy lifting for me has been kind of a nice change of pace.
Have you asked Marcel to ever do a Mandolin Monday?
I have, yeah. I think he politely declined, but yeah, it'd be cool to have him on at some point. It's cool doing that like guitar tips or mandolin tips for guitar players video with him. I felt like that was a fun like kind of meeting of ways.
Those videos always crack me up. Not just yours, but like that's always like everybody's entry. Like there's that video with Thiele out there that's like that, and there's a video with Ricky Skaggs who are like, "What's your tips for guitar players, especially mandolin?" Like I started on mandolin.
Don't you love when you hand a guitar player a mandolin and their gut reaction is to like put it on their right knee?
There's like, what do I do with this thing?
Yeah, they can't even really figure out how to hold it, you know.
Totally, man.
Well, guys, I so appreciate you jumping in on doing the stream.
Man, I'm glad we finally got a chance to do it. I know we've been trying to.
Yeah, well, I want to do more and more of them. You know, I feel like this is like just the beginning.
What other song you got for me today, Mickey? I know you got something else up your sleeve. What else you got?
Oh, you want me to pick something else to react to?
Yeah,
do it.
All right, yeah, let's do that.
Dude, what's that guitar you got hanging in the background there, Andy?
So this is an interesting thing. So I live. We moved to this house during the pandemic, and this is my brother-in-law's home, his childhood home, and then he lives next door.
Oh, cool.
And his dad played music like way back in the day. But his dad passed away 25 years ago. And when they redid this house before we moved in, they found that guitar in the attic. And
Whoa.
he had never seen it. He's my age. He's 46, 47, something like that. He'd never even seen this guitar. He didn't know it was in this house. He didn't know it was in the attic. And he pulled it down. It was, basically still in tune with itself and like somehow survived. It's a national. It's not like a great sounding guitar. It's a better looking than a sounding guitar, but it does play. It is I keep it tuned down. It's an archtop guitar. I'd probably sound better if I had flat wounds on it, but
Yeah, dude, that's so fun, man.
So there you go.
I just saw like a video of the Antique Roadshow of some woman who'd found like a Lloyd Loar Fern in her grandfather's closet, and like her grandfather bought it for $20 and it was going for like 175 grand.
Seriously.
If only.
Hey, before I play this song for you, I'm going to stop the share for 1 second and come back.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you guys just your take, because Andy, you posted a video. Do you guys hear that wind? Can you hear that coming through the mic? It is like crazy. It's like a rain, like crazy thunderstorm and like wind coming through.
I hear it a little bit. It just makes it seem real.
Yeah, totally.
Ambiance.
Andy, you did a video on this like last week or something, 2 weeks ago. What is your take on like swinging eighth notes or not swinging eighth notes?
Oh yeah, I saw that video too. That's great.
Like David, what's it could change tomorrow, but what's your answer like right now? If you were going to play Huckleberry Hornpipe, you swinging it, you straightening it, you're playing whiskey before breakfast.
For me, it's just the tempo.
Yeah, that's probably it, isn't it? I don't know. I feel like I don't have any control over it sometimes, though. Like I haven't done that much classical music, like we were talking before, Mickey. But I did get asked to do this crazy string quartet and mandolin gig when I was living up in Boston. And it was done with some like pretty high profile players, and I had no business being there, but I kept getting picked on because they said I was swinging the notes, even though I was trying to play it as straight and as even as possible. Funny. So it's just something I feel like is baked into my playing. I can't even control it that much.
It's the only person I've ever heard that can swing at every single tempo is Solly Burton.
That's true. You're right.
Solly can play as fast as anybody. You just haven't seen it because he doesn't necessarily do it. But I've never seen a top end on his speed. I promise. I've played for hours and hours with him. I've never seen a top end on his speed, and it's swinging the entire time. And I do not know how it's possible. And he never comes out of that. And it's amazing.
He just seems unfazed by anything, doesn't he? He's crazy.
Oh, he's just like that, man. He is just
so
like
good.
that. He's so good. Yeah, I think to me it's tempo. There's a really cool Grisman track that's Grisman and Doc playing, okay, and it's just bluegrass stomp, okay.
Oh,
and the way Grisman plays it is he changes the swing, like the first, dude.
I've noticed.
He changes the swing on the first three.
Can we
phrases.
let's bring that up and I'll just listen to that, because I always thought that what it was is, since it's really laid back, I thought that what it is that Grisman started playing it kind of straighter, like the Monroe version, ba-doo-ga doo doo-ga doo-ga doo, and then like Doc started playing like a little rhythm instantaneously.
Like widens the swing.
It took him like half a measure. Doc plays that half a measure, and Grisman's like, "Oh, I guess we're swinging it," and it took him like just like half a measure to make the adjustment. David, you probably not sure what we're talking about, right?
I don't know if I've heard that one. Is it from their duo record, or is it?
Yeah, I'll totally bring it up so you can see what we're talking about. I hope that it's the exact recording from because sometimes there's some outtakes on YouTube that are slightly different takes. Hope this is the album version. That's the right one. Let me see. Andy, I've heard that a million times, and it bugs me out every time. It's so interesting. Let's see if this is the right one. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, let me do the screen share. You guys can probably share videos too, by the way. I think that is am I the only one that can share videos, or are you guys able to share your screen too?
I think I did one last time where I was able to share it, but I'm not sure if
Oh,
I have the
maybe.
audio set up where I could hear it. I know you did some extra steps to do that. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is what I've heard.
All right, see if this is right.
Bluegrass time. Take one. A one. A one. Two, three.
Yeah. So the kickoff is totally different than where they landed there by the end of that 4 chord.
That might be what it was. He might have picked up on what Doc was doing and just.
A one, two, three.
And then right here.
Let's go.
You ever get down with this album, David?
Yeah, I've heard what is that song? All About You. We used to do that one song, me and Tabitha. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Totally, man. That's off this record, right? I don't know if I've listened to much else, but
Totally.
I need to, man. What legends here, man.
Okay, I'm going to play this one for you guys, though. I'm going to do a different one.
I guess you're right. Like, it does. Who you play with really influences the way that you swing too, like almost subconsciously, I'm sure. But
sometimes I think that it's like more modern not to swing. Like if you listen to like an old person play Whiskey Before Breakfast, it'll be like. But if you hear like Sierra Hull play it, she's going to play it like. As opposed to.
Yeah.
It sounds more modern.
Yeah, it depends on whether you grew up listening to Sam Bush or Chris Thile, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Or also, but even then, in just in general, music is like that. Like, I mean, there's a swing to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme. Like rap has changed. Rap doesn't swing anymore. I mean,
the same thing you said for jazz, dude. Andy,
that's how
I
the rap
agree.
was.
Dude, I agree with you though. Even in the modern jazz, they don't swing anymore. Like it's more like an R&B ish kind of groove. Like the modern jazz guitar players don't go ba-doo ba-da-da dee ba ba-doo dee ba-doo dee ga. That's not even like their vernacular anymore.
That was, by the way, the theme from Full House that you just sang. Ba-doo ba-doo
That's a great song.
It is. It's a fine song.
That's a great song, dude. Don't make me play the Perfect Strangers theme for the next listening, Andy.
Don't make me.
I will. I'll do it, man, and I'll love it.
I'll bring out all my Balky one-liners here.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a 46-year-old man's joke.
Oh man, I love it. Okay, let's listen to this.
What do you got?
Have you heard this with Stefan Grappelli? And it's got Andy Statman on here and Tony Rice is on here. You guys know this recording?
Yeah, great record.
Hit me.
You can already hear David's break. So my take on my comment on this solo is it's unlike the phrasing of the song. It sounds like the soloist is not playing the phrases as like questions and answers the way a bluegrass player would. He's kind of dancing in between the beginning and ending of phrases. That's what I hear in this solo. Check it out. See? Statman. Sick.
Yeah.
So inventive. Dude. How about the way that Grappelli comes in there with the siren before he comes in? He's like, oh, it's my turn. And he just jumps on in there.
I mean, Grappelli and Statman. What a combination.
I know. So, of course, like, what's the dog going to do? Is he going to outplay Andy Statman? Is he going to outplay freaking Steph? He's like, dude, I'll do the David Gilmour one note, and then he leaves the space and goes, doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo-doo-doo, chill, chill, chill. Literally waits the whole freaking measure before coming in after that second lick there. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-da-da. Wait. Tony Rice. Ba-doo. Ba-doo. I heard this solo in my college apartment years ago, and I remember thinking, like, that bass solo made so much sense the way he did the questions and answers there with the do-do-do-ba-doo, boo-ka-doo-ka-doo-ka-doo, do-ka-doo-ka-doo-ka-doo, boo-ka-doo-ka-doo-ka-doo. And ever since then, I've been thinking, like, I want a solo like that, as opposed to just a bunch of random, blues licks like I learned in high school or something, like just plastering pentatonic licks. And it made me think, like, okay, maybe I could play something like... There's the whole A section. There's a whole solo with like 3 notes. I remember having that vision from listening to this moment right here.
Just listen to that conversation.
Ka-doo-ka-doo-ka-doo. 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 Ka-doo-ka-doo-ka-doo.
It's such a melodic bass solo for a bass solo.
Right?
Melodic and not like show offy at all.
Yeah.
Epic.
That's fantastic.
Dude, I love Andy Statman's playing so much. I had a friend describe his playing as a well-dressed mandolin player falling down a flight of stairs, which I feel like is not a good comparison at all. But I love how like it makes you think, yeah, like you just don't know where he's gonna end up. He just surprises you every time.
He surprises you every time. And
Every time, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's just
Stash
not
says it's one of his
something
biggest influences. If in that interview that you mentioned, David, he talks
Right,
about
yeah.
loving,
that makes sense.
right? Because he heard him play with what's that band with the with Trishka was in? Is it called the Wretched String Band? Refuge String Band?
Right.
Wretched String Band?
I
There's
know
something,
Shark-
and it's like
yeah.
super outside solos, and Stash is like, oh right, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's playing.
just waiting for permission.
He's playing with that first Jacob Jolliffe instrumentals record is like that's my favorite part of the record, and it's all so good. But like listening to Stash's solos is just oh man, it's absolute poetry and anarchy at the same time. You know, it's crazy, unbelievable.
We got to get him in here for one of the streams. He'd love to join.
100.
That'd be great.
100.
You guys have a song for me?
Ooh, that's good. That's a good
What's
question.
your favorite Grisman album, David?
I don't know. I always say Hot Dog just because that one feels so great, man. I Dog's Bull on there. That's so fun. Yeah, I feel like it's some of Tony's best playing from the group too. Just like how they all were just on top of their game playing with Stefan.
It is incredible.
Yeah, that one's great. What about you, Andy?
Mine. I mean, I come a little harder down on the bluegrass side of things. Like the Home Is Where the Heart Is album is really my favorite.
Yeah,
And that's certainly the one I've listened to the most. And I would say like my favorite track off of that is really Pretty Polly, that he plays as a duet with Alan O'Brien. And what he does rhythmically on the mandolin behind there to like express the story of the song is unreal to me. So Pretty Polly, bring it up, Mickey. Home Is Where the Heart Is, David Grisman, Pretty Polly.
Okay. Good selection. Going with the bluegrass selection.
Well, and it's really it's the backup stuff on this that's so good.
If I had to actually pick a favorite,
fine, but the backup is ridiculous.
If I had to actually pick a favorite Grisman album, it would either be Doc and Dog or Tone Poems.
yeah, hard to beat Tone Poems. I know what you mean.
Yeah, just such a revolutionary. It made me hear music so different.
Yeah,
bluegrass music is so different.
I only recently discovered that that double-sided record, Dog Grass and Dog Jazz. Do y'all know that one very well?
Oh yeah,
That one's so crazy, man. I like hearing the big band with the mandolin. It seems just so out of the blue, but it's like amazing. You know, hearing Grisman.
There's always like another Grisman album that you like haven't heard.
I know it's
yet.
like
oh,
whole new face of dog.
It's like Key and Peele sketches. There's always one you haven't seen.
Right.
There's always another one. Oh, wrong one. This is what I want to play. Okay, it's Pretty Polly. Here we go. This is a great album.
like even how he comes in here.
You're going for the Grisman deep cuts.
No, it's coming.
So we let her over mountains and valleys so deep. He let her over mountains and valleys so deep. Holly mistrusted and then began to leave. Saying, hey, little I'm afraid of your ways, the way you've been rambling to lead me astray. Now, Polly, pretty Polly, your guess is about right. Now, Polly, pretty Polly, your guess is about right. I dug on your grave the best part of last night.
Now, coming up here in this verse, he opened up her bosom as wide as any snow. What he does rhythmically is really cool.
He led a little farther, and what did she spy? He led a little farther, and what did she spy? A newly dug grave with a spade laying by. Then she knelt down before him and pleaded for his life. She knelt down before him and pleaded for her life. Let me be a single girl if I can't be your wife. Oh, Polly, pretty Polly,
Here it is. Here it is. It's coming, maybe.
You can just see the head bopping, you know. Like,
Anybody else gets kicked out of the band for playing that rhythm at that point.
Right.
Right here.
He opened up her bosom as white as the snow. He stabbed her to the heart and the blood did overflow. Then he went down to
I probably picked like the only 6-minute song on the album.
Oh, let's see. It's only another 5 seconds.
He went
Well worth it though, Andy.
to the house, and what did he say? I've killed pretty Polly and tried to
Ooh.
get away.
Hey, Chris Henry and I are going to do a video on a mandolin shape called a dog. Well, he came up with dogatonics, but I'm like, hey, Chris, I want to do a video on this shape right here.
that is a good.
Like,
that's a good
like
name
just
for it.
like nothing more than that. Like it's a 2-string shape, and it's just that minor, the A minor or C major pent.
It's like that shape, and then yeah.
Yes, and like the cool thing about it is it could be A minor pent, it could be C major pent, or it could be like A blues. You could use it in like 3 contexts. Like A minor Wayfaring Stranger. You could use it over Gold Rush, A blues, or you could use it over C major, like a C major type of thing. And then you do 2 middle strings, you get D minor, F major, D blues. The dogatonics.
I love that too, man. That's so yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
Japan, right?
Exactly. I sent a picture of that tablature shape to Chris, and he's like, "Oh, dogatonics."
Dogatonics.
Okay, here's a question. I see some people do the pentatonic shape like this, where I guess it'd be like a minor pentatonic, where you finger it with, like normally I would think to finger it like this with my pinky, but I see like Chris Seeley and like Josh Pinkham does that a lot, where he just kind of uses these 3 fingers. Do y'all ever do that?
Like, what, leaving out just no pinky?
Just no
Just
pinky.
the fingering, yeah.
Shifting these 2 fingers up.
No, I don't ever do that. I mean, I would use my pinky, but it's not comfortable.
I don't know what the reasoning is. I guess it's just easier to like sometimes use the bigger fingers, but I guess mostly they use that shape kind of up the neck where the frets are smaller and close together. But
Does
do
Steffi
you ever do that,
does
Mickey?
Does Steffi ever use his pinky?
I
Hardly
think
ever.
he does. Yeah, not often, but I think he would on some occasions, wouldn't he? Maybe not.
You know, since you asked that question, David, I feel like, you know, compared to, I feel like people like Chris Thiele obviously have way different mandolin technique than someone like Sam or David, right? It's a whole different
Totally,
take.
yeah.
It's a whole different take on the instrument, you know, a whole different like mind
Yeah.
frame on what they're doing on the instrument. So like, if you have a lick like this one, and you try to move that to the higher octave, and you get those 4 finger per string kind of things.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
to me is a totally awkward fingering that like if I was going to use in real life, I would change to like one of these. And I would make up like a pentatonic version of
Yeah.
the lick.
Like
It
that
has-
toggle between those two fingers. That's hard.
Yeah, I would make up a whole nother lick instead of transposing it an octave higher and making it the same
Right.
lick.
I would probably do like and then shift back down. That would feel easier to me for some reason.
Right, to do this here and then shift down.
Yeah, something like that.
Totally.
I don't know.
So to me, all of that playing is very difficult. So what I end up doing is making up a language where, and I know Dog does this too, like his tunes are based on easy fingerings. You know, instead of playing something hard, just change it.
Yeah, I like that pentatonic box. I don't know. Is that the Dogatonic box as well? But like that
Well,
one's
you
so
know,
nice. Like
well,
not having to use the ring finger on next to the pinky.
How many
like
usable positions do you think there are for bluegrass mandolin, David?
that.
2.
Probably 2, right? Like the
I
top
think
box. Yeah.
Don't you
Top
think
box
so?
and the
2.
pentatonic
Yeah.
box. Yeah.
Part
But
of
did
the,
you- But
sorry.
like, I mean, the thing about like starting on each finger. Did you ever do that? I never did that.
Yeah, the FFCP. Which does
Yeah.
anyone know, for goodness sake, why the C is lowercase and the letters are? I don't know why.
I don't know.
I think part of the Dogatonic secret is not that they're not even closed positions, because part of the Dogatonic is having these two,
Why is this
having the
lowercase?
open,
I won't be able to sleep tonight.
I
It's
know, right?
ridiculous.
Why?
having the open string here, instead of even using the closed note, having that be where the open string happens, I think is part of the
Right.
part of the actual Dogatonic, why it's that particular shape that he uses, like having that open string in a certain place.
Right.
I was excited when I learned that scale.
Yeah.
I'm sure I overused it for that weekend, and to this
I still
day,
overuse it.
I'm sure I do. Yeah, I'm sure that's
Can you
Like-
ever use it? I don't know.
Like- yeah.
But Andy, really 2 positions for bluegrass mandolin. You need
I
licks
would
out of
think
this
so.
one, and you need one out of this position.
That's the ones I use. Yeah,
Those are the 2 that really get all the
That matter.
classics, you know?
yeah.
That's so funny. Like, no hesitation. Everyone's just like 2 shapes. You know?
Well, and Andrew, I saw somebody ask that on Facebook, and Andrew Collins answered that the same way, and I was like, he knows.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I mean, if you connect those shapes together, that's the whole fretboard, really. So it doesn't
To me, it
matter.
is. I mean, I know there's,
Yeah.
the violin players are doing something different. I know Chris is doing something different but that's
Sure.
just- I feel like let's take off the bottom of the curve and the top of the curve.
Yeah, 2 shapes. That's it. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, folks, I think I actually might need to hit the hay soon.
Yeah,
I think
man.
our baby might be getting up kind of in the next few hours here, so I
I
better
totally.
get ahead of that.
David,
But
pleasure.
it was so fun.
David,
David,
thanks
thanks
for
for
hanging out,
organizing
man.
this,
It's
Mickey.
good
It
to
was a
see you
blast, dude.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'll
I'd
hit you
love to
guys
do
up
this again
soon. I'll
soon.
catch you guys both in
Yeah, man.
IRL soon.
Mickey, I can hang out a little bit if you want.
Sure. Yeah, man. We'll hang for a minute.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later. Y'all take
it
care.
easy, Dave.
Peace.
Thanks,
See you,
man.
Dave. Yo,
What's up?
Mando hat in the house. I'm going to grab my bottle of water. One sec. Dude.
Okay, now here it is right here. Here it is.
dude.
What is that?
What is it?
Mhm.
Can you play it again?
Yep. Let's see. That's it.
Am I supposed to know it?
I don't know. But what it is Dad said, he said, if you learn that, I'll buy you a better mandolin.
Aw.
So that was my ticket to a better mandolin when I was young, when I was a kid. But that is it's Dempsey Young from the Lost and Found, Drifting with the Tide. But you got to hear him do it now. It's just the intro to the song. So pull it up there if you can find it. I'll see if it's on YouTube. But
Drifting with the Tide?
Drifting with the Tide, The Lost and Found. Drifting with the Tide, The Lost and Found. Hopefully it's on YouTube. Sometimes their stuff is a little hard to find.
I think I just found it. I really think I just found it, dude. Here it is. Let me do the screen share for us. Drifting with the Tide. This is it, right?
Yep.
This is totally it. All right, let's listen. Volume up. And here we go. Oh. Yep. Don't you love it?
As my boat goes near the
Yes,
harbor.
dude.
That's
We're gonna
it,
hear
man.
that. We're gonna hear that again.
Isn't that
Andy,
unbelievable?
Andy, I love. Who are these guys?
The Lost and Found is a Virginia. They were a Virginia-based band, and Dempsey Young is like probably the most creative mandolin player of his generation. I mean, he's passed away. I don't know, in the early 2000s, and but it's just kind of like. He was such an important person. He's such an important player. And he was an arranger. He never improvised on stage. Every note was planned ahead. From every note of backup is planned ahead. And his backup mandolin is just perfection. But there's nothing, every show was the same, and it was perfect. And you still wanted to hear it again.
Let's hear that kickoff one more time.
Yeah, man.
Paste.
As my boat goes near the harbor, knowing soon that you'll be mine. But if another has you, darling, I'll go drifting with the tide. I've crossed the great wide ocean. I have waited for the time. But if another has you, darling, I'll go drifting with the tide.
Great song.
Yeah, man.
That's bluegrass. Great banjo. Holy moly.
Oh, this guy is again, like super creative banjo player. Let's keep listening.
A long, long time has passed, my darling, since the night you made those vows. I know my heart would break with sorrow.
All that's planned out.
Should say it's over now. I've crossed the great wide ocean. I have waited waiting for the time. But if another has you, darling, I'll go drifting with the tide.
I don't think there's another mandolin solo in the track, as I remember.
I across the great wide ocean, I have waited for the time. But if another has you, darling, I'll go drifting with the tide.
Yes, sir. Dude, that was the perfect bluegrass song.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Like, he had one called, I don't know all of his stuff or anything like that, or I don't know it all perfectly. But then Sawmill Road is another big one where it goes. It's a really hip thing because it's like parallel fifths.
Yeah.
And then he does this thing. He says, I can't sing that high, but well, I was born on Sawmill Road, raised in the cotton patch. Sometimes all the food we'd have was the fish we'd catch. And then he's behind there going like this. My daddy built the lumber mill, quite it to him long. You know, like
That's kind of Grismanish what you just played, that little
yeah,
bopping around.
yeah, that's kind of Grismanish, yeah. And
Hey,
then they had a lot of stuff like I wish I could, think of all that stuff. It's just like endlessly clever things. Like everything's thought out and like everything's clever.
You want one more tune?
Yeah, man.
Did I ever play you tell you about my buddy Gabe Valla from St. Augustine?
Yeah. I heard a little bit. You played Chris on the last one.
Oh, yeah, I did. I'll play you one more. I forgot you were in that stream. You did pop in.
Well, I went and listened to it. I wasn't in that stream, but I went and listened to a little bit.
Okay, you were in the first one that I did when I first got the
I was in
program.
a practice stream.
That's right.
Yeah.
You were in the practice stream.
Yeah.
But you weren't in the one when Chris joined us?
No.
When Chris Henry came in?
No, but it's publicly available on YouTube, so I went and watched it.
Oh. It's publicly right. Fair. All right, I'll play you a Gabe Valla tune. I keep pressing a wrong button. I need to get like a little more. I'd make the same mistake every time. I have to click the exact tab that I want to listen to. All right. Oh, sorry. Isn't that nice?
There you go.
Perfect tune.
Who's playing here?
It's a guy named Greg Turner. He passed away about 15 years ago, and I
Okay.
did briefly play mandolin with this band, and at the time it was a big deal for me because I thought they were so awesome. I mean, they are.
Right.
I didn't think they were awesome. They are so awesome.
Yeah.
And Greg, I thought was like an amazing mandolin player. And Liz and Lon and Gabe asked me to play mandolin, play these songs, and I was like, oh man, I can't play mandolin like Greg, but I learned these tunes and tried to play them the best I could back then.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah, dude. You got a good feel.
Yeah. Amazing feel. Aubrey Haney.
He was really adventurous.
That melody is something like. See if I can still play it. Something like.
Yeah, dude.
Something like that, and then the beat part's like. Something like that.
Yeah,
I guess it's in the long term somewhere.
Yeah, man.
Isn't that really above average?
I got one.
What you got?
Pull out a track. I don't think you heard.
Pardon?
I'm gonna pull out a track. I don't think you've heard.
Okay. Are you going to share it on your screen?
You're gonna find it because I'm not sure. I can hear it on my end because of the audio stuff.
Okay. What should I search?
It's Slavic Hanslick, So Long Jake.
What's the name of the tune?
So Long Jake. So Long Jake. It's Slavic Hanslick.
I found it.
And I want you to name every player on this track, okay?
Is it possible? Will I be able to?
I think so.
Okay.
There's one you might miss, but I think you'll get it.
All right. Let me do the share.
I don't know about the bass player.
Right. Is it Byron House?
Have you heard Slavic Hanslick before?
I think he's the flat pick. I have heard him flat pick. I think he was on an Emery Lester album that I have.
He's from the Czech Republic. But he lived in Chicago when I was young. And we got to jam with him a lot. And he was really world-class flat picker that's just like would be at the festivals and be like, oh man. Like he's so good.
I've never been a personally, but I'm definitely listened to his playing, and I have his solos on certain players' albums, like an Emery. Oh man. So that's him. That's Slavic Hanslick.
Yeah.
So I don't have to guess the flat picker there. That's Slavic.
No, you got that one right.
That's Tony Trischka?
No. It's who you want it to be.
I mean, is it Bela Fleck?
Yeah.
It's Bela. Okay, it's so I was thinking it's not okay. It's like it's not Bela. It's got to be okay. It is. That's Bela Fleck. Yeah, totally.
It's Bela. Yeah, it's Bela Fleck.
That's actually the first thing that came to mind. But I'm like, that's not fucking Bela. You know?
No. I knew that. That was kind of a trick question.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Bela.
Okay. But then I'm like, I heard a lick, and I'm like, that's Bela. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's Bela. Which means I already recognize the mandolin chop. If that's Bela, it's got to be Sam. But let's keep going. That's not Sam. That wasn't Sam Bush.
No.
No, that's not Sam Bush at all.
No.
Is that Mike Marshall?
No.
No. Okay, hang on a second. Dude, I do kind of recognize that. What the hell? Let me one more time. Dude, oh man.
You're not going to get this one.
I mean, who does that? Dooga-dooga-ding, booga-ding, ba-dooga-ding. Who would do that?
He's very syncopated, right? Very syncopated.
Was it Andy Statman?
Mm-mm. This is a trick question. Keep listening and you tell me who the fiddler is, okay?
Okay. That's Stuart Duncan.
There you go. Stuart Duncan is also the mandolin player.
You said it's Stuart Duncan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never would have gotten that, dude.
I know.
All right. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yes, sir.
Slavic, but go ahead.
His playing is so powerful. He's hitting.
That's what I was about to say. What I remember
Hitting so
about
hard.
him was how strong he was. Just a physically strong man and a physically strong player, both left and right hand. And I remember, his right hand looked a lot like Greer's to me, like a kind of, the kickback like here, kind of thing, like a, and but such a strong, physically a strong player. And then I remember him being really funny. Like he taught us kids, we were all kids, in high school and stuff. And he taught us to do this. He's like, if you play with somebody that's not very good, and you're playing Up the Big Sandy, this is how you play it. He said that you play it, you go. With where I'm adding an extra beat in the thing.
Yeah.
And if you try to play along it, and all of a sudden people are like, wait, so okay. And then they kind of catch it up again, and you play it straight. So you think that they got it, and then as soon as they get it, you go, and you add that extra beat in. He's kind of ornery, but he had a fun sense of humor.
That's the progressive metal version.
the progressive metal version. But yeah, the 9/8 time there or whatever it would be. But that was really neat. We got to hang out with him a lot and play with him a lot when we were young. I mean, I don't know what age he would have been. You know, we were all 16, 17 years old, just jamming, man, having a good time.
I think he might be the guitar player on this recording. Have you ever heard Emery Lester, Pale Rider?
No. Emery's
Never heard-
incredible.
You never heard Pale Rider?
No.
Dude, this is fun because I haven't listened to this track in a long time. So I'm curious, like, what is gonna. You ever like not listen to a tune in a long time and it sounds way different than you remember?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. Like sometimes, or like it's, I don't know. Yeah, or it doesn't hit you the same way, or
Yeah, or
whatever.
hits you like different. Yeah, totally different. I mean, I hear
Yeah.
it with Grisman and Tony albums. That happens all the time. Or I go back and listen to Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin albums. Like, man, I never noticed that at all.
Yeah.
If you've never heard this, it'll be fun to listen to. Pale Rider. I had this recording on an album called The Young Mando Monsters. There was like a compilation. It had Ryan McCory on there and Emery Lester and stuff like that. Check this out.
Goodness gracious.
Little measures of three there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. I think that might be Slavic here.
Okay. Fantastic.
Logatonic lick right there.
Yeah, right?
Dude, can you believe people learn to play music like that? I mean, like, what in the world?
It's so
man?
incredible.
The level that people pick at is just so insane.
Well, and not only that, but it's like, you know, Emery's not famous,
No, dude. These
and he's
guys,
incredible. Like, I mean, he's famous to us. He's famous to bluegrassers, but like,
he might even have a day job, dude.
he's not on.
He's in like computers, dude.
Well, it's okay. That's cool. You should do that, but like, he's not on TV. Like, you're not seeing him on. Like,
No.
that's as good a musician as anybody. And like, you're not.
Yeah.
It's like you're not. He's not on. I don't know, the Late Show or whatever. I mean, it's like these people, and there's a million of them. You know how good Joe? Yes, you do, because you're from Florida. How good is Joe Craven?
Dude, well, he's not a Florida guy. He's a West Coast guy.
Is he a West Coast guy?
But I know Joe. He's a friend because I've known Joe. He's done workshops with my students before. I know Joe well. I don't
know a better musician than that guy.
It's insane, dude. He'll play a bass solo on his shoestring.
All right, I got a song for you. I got one more. I got one more. I do have a cut. I don't want to take the last one though.
All right, yeah. Look, you give me one more, and then we'll get off. I've been streaming for a couple hours, which is awesome. But let's do one more. What you got?
Okay. The Stanley Tradition, Gonna Paint the Town. And it's the mandolin solo in this, which is Ray Laguerre, who's another Canadian.
Oh, totally.
You know, I think Emery's from Canada, but Raymond Laguerre is another Canadian. And the mandolin solo in this just kind of turned my mind around about how the mandolin could be played. I'm not sure I could ever do it, but it made me think about it.
This one might not be YouTubeable.
It's there. There, let me put the link in the chat window here.
Yeah, try that.
There it is. I put it in our chat.
Listen to this guy. He goes, I made fun of my kids watching. You know how like there's that whole thing about watching kids play video games? It's like a thing you stream on Twitch. So it's like, but here I am watching, Mickey and Andy listen to music.
Somebody once told me the world. Sorry.
It's so true, man.
Hey,
dude,
man,
you're going to tune in next week, and Andy and I are going to be doing Fortnite.
That's right. I don't know what that is.
I think it's a video game.
It sounds right. It sounds right.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I should have said Minecraft, because I actually know what that one is. Did you send me a link?
Yeah, like to the chat window, like in our chat window. We have our own chat window.
Let me see. Oh, private chat. I see.
Private chat. I slid into your DMs there.
I slid into your DMs, dude. That's classic Andy, dude. You always crack me up, dude. All right. Here it is. Let me share the screen. How funny was my friend from Sweden on that one chat?
I had shared that one. Oh, yeah, that game. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. I just love this mandolin solo.
All right. Oh, hang on, let me start from the top. All right,
James King.
Oh. Yep.
And there's Aubrey. That's Aubrey.
That's Aubrey?
Everything's turned upside down. And when I find that gal of mine, we're really gonna paint this town. They say we can't get married. They say I'm not worthy. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what
he opens the solo with this chord. It's just a rhythmic chord.
Turned upside down. And when I find that gal of mine, we're really gonna paint this town.
Whoa! Holy crap, dude.
I find that gal of mine, we're really gonna paint this town.
Dude, that's the kind of language that Feely learned when he started doing that stuff with Michael Daves, and he started doing those crazy bluegrass double stops. It reminds me
Yeah.
of the stuff he plays with Michael Daves.
And then after that, it's straight Grisman.
Right.
We're really gonna paint this town.
Yes. Little Monroe right there.
Now when you see me
that's
coming,
fantastic.
you better raise your window.
This whole song is 1 minute and 40 seconds long.
Right?
Leaving, Lord, Lord, hang down your head and cry. I'm a wood honky tonk. Everything's turned upside down. And when I find that gal of mine, we're really gonna paint this town. And when I see that gal of mine, we're really gonna paint this town.
Jesus, that is so fast.
That is hauling, man. Isn't that a great mandolin solo?
It is, the way he came in was so intense.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, really coming and overlapping the vocal too, really, like with that, whatever that, I don't even know what it is, like a D minor or something, or I don't know what, like some kind of seventh chord, or
Right.
yeah, that's hot, man. Mickey,
So much fun, man.
this was a fun hang. Sorry I was late.
Oh man, it's all good. It gave David and I a chance to catch up, man.
It's
Yeah,
good to see
man. You too. We'll have to do it again soon.
you. Yeah,
And man, I gotta come back to Peoria.
come back. The chair. Oh wait,
I know. I know where I stay now. I come to Peoria. I got my own place up there.
That's
man.
it, man. Come hang out.
I love it.
All right, dude. You have a great one. All right.
Andy,
Take it
peace,
easy.
brother.
Yep.
Peace.
See ya.
Well, it seems like there's still 5 people watching. We had David Benedict stop by tonight. We had Andrew Hatfield stop by tonight. And who's watching? Let me know who's watching the stream. We got 5 people in here. Who's there? Say what's up to me before I get off the internet for the night. We've been streaming for 2 hours, and my goal with these streams is to help promote and cultivate this YouTube bluegrass community. Some of you may know me from the Lessons with Marcel channel. You might know me from the Hayes Griffin channel. You might know me from Andy's channel, Andy Hatfield. You might know me from David Benedict's channel. So I'm starting to post more content on this channel. Mickey, just found you, bro. Freaking Feltman, dude. I've been going for 2 hours, man. But that's all right. We'll do it again. Feldman, you'll have to pop in with one of these streams, man. That would be really fun sometime to get some, to get some friends and students to actually come into the stream. Oh, so glad you came in. The last 10 minutes, man. I'll have to do this again. I do plan on getting some cool guests, people like, dude, after I go for 2 hours, you get people coming into the stream now. That would be cool. Yeah, Feltman, that would be cool, man. He's talking about trying to get him into the stream here. I appreciate it. Alper, I appreciate you checking out the content and watching. I'd imagine you watch Marcel's channel if people know me on YouTube. And that's the thing here, man. I want to start getting my own channel out there more and doing some more long form content like this. Well, I've been going for over 2 hours. I'm gonna call it a night, guys, and we'll stream again. Pete Feldman, catch you soon. Alper, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for checking out the videos. Keep watching them all, and we'll catch you all on the flip side. Good night, everybody.